Wow, I'm the only one that had him keeping Mississippi State in the 20s. Yeah. Wow, you guys.
Look at that. We all
It's a long road trip.
There's something wrong with you.
38-10. BYU loses.
38-10, Brian.
Yep, 35-7. Yep.
I'd feel a lot better if it was San Jose State this week.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we all pick against them. They'll shock the world. Could they shock the world?
Just prove us wrong. Just do it once. Just prove us wrong.
Just prove us wrong. That's our show for this week. For Blaine Fowler, David Nixon, Brian Logan, and all of us at BYU TV Sports, I'm Dave McCann. We'll see you Saturday for the pregame show early in the morning, and next Tuesday, of course, for more AFR on BYU TV. BYU football with head coach Kalani Sitake is coming up next.
Coming up on BYU football with Kalani Sitake, we recap last week's setback against Boise State and look ahead to more cowbell as the Cougars make the trek to Starkville. Plus, senior offensive lineman Kian Norman is joining us here in Studio C, where BYU football with Kalani Sitake starts now.
Come back in just to try and run somebody over.
Open is Sitake, wide open.
Watch Kalani Sitake. What a nice job on Gerard Newby.
BYU wins it for the Lavelle Edwards.
Kalani Sitake as the new football coach at BYU.
It's great to be back home.
The kick is on its way. It is good! It is good! Hit! The Cougars had it!
I'm very lucky to be coaching these young men.
A play fake. Guns it.
Picked off Grant Jones! Right across the middle.
Hands off. Tolutau.
Ula running right, and then right into the end zone.
This is BYU football with Kalani Sitake, presented by Ken Garff Aura, with your host, the voice of the Cougars, Greg Wrubell.
Hello and good evening once again, Cougar Nation. Welcome back inside the BYU Broadcasting Building on the BYU campus here in Provo, Utah, for our weekly look inside Cougar football with the head coach and a player guest tonight. Lineman Kian Norman joins the coach and me, and we're joined by BYU football fans every week here in Studio C. To be a part of our live audience, request your free seats by clicking the link at byucougars.com/Sitake Show. Great to have folks with us here for this 7th week of our season. Wow. We invite BYU fans to get involved on social media too. We'll take your questions for Kian and Kalani later in tonight's show. Just use the hashtag Sitake Show on Twitter. Tonight is not just any night on the Sitake Show. In fact, we only get to have a night like this every few years. But today is Kalani Sitake's birthday. So please welcome in and welcome back the head coach of the Cougars and birthday boy, Kalani Sitake.
How we doing?
Doing all right. We got a party together for you.
Oh gosh, I knew you were doing something like that. It's just a day.
It's your special day.
Yeah, I'm 42. I feel like I'm 80 right now. So.
Well, you might feel a little younger with a few more wins under your belt, but you're hanging in, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately, you know, it's not a good feeling when you lose, but you just have to go to work, and I've said this over and over again, but yeah, adversity is hard, but you got to overcome it and have to look forward to turning things around, and that's what our focus is right now. And we saw some bright spots last week, but obviously not enough to win the game, and we're trying to address as much as possible this week.
No one's ever really in a great mood when you're in a rough patch like you are right now, but as head coach, how do you view it as your responsibility to make sure guys' heads stay right and they don't get too far in a funk?
Well, I mean, just focus on some of the positive things that we have, but also stay united and stay close as a group, you know. And I think it's okay to have some honest discussions too, and to be real with each other. But I think that we've encouraged our players to take ownership of the team and try to work together. But at the same time, it's okay for guys to be told the truth, you know, and that's coaches also. So I think that it's been harsh reality for a lot of us, myself included, this season, and just really want to get back on the winning ways and doing what people expect from us as BYU fans and what we expect from ourselves as a team.
Can you compare this to anything you've been through in your past?
We've been through some parts. I mean, when I was at University of Utah, we had 2 seasons that we went 5-7, but you know, we're not at that moment yet. But I mean, there's still a lot of games to be played. But it was rough spots, you know, and we had actually had some really good recruiting years that year because we were able to focus on some of the positive things about the program. But here, I feel like we're in a different spot. If you look at what we did last year, we played a lot cleaner and we weren't making as many mistakes. And obviously we're faced with a lot of adversity right now, but we can get through this. We have the right guys, and we have the right team and the right chemistry right now. So let's just get it done and really no more excuses. I've kind of run out of things to say other than we just need to go out and prove that we can do it consistently. And the first quarter looked really promising in last week's game, and the goal is to do that for 60 minutes. And I think if we do that, our fans will be happy, and we'll have a greater chance of success in winning.
Let's get to the start of that game last week. Boise State coming to town, and Tanner Mangum had about 4 weeks to get as ready as he could be coming off the ankle injury. Wasn't 100%, but man, he had a nice start to the game for you guys.
He did, and he made some great decisions, and you know, I thought we had a great game plan going into it, and he was throwing the ball really effectively, but we also ran the ball well and just kept him guessing a little bit, and it just we just couldn't keep it going, you know. It's really proud of our guys, and we're looking back at it. We probably should have just continued doing those same plays, you know, over and over again, and make them stop us. But we weren't consistent enough, and we actually had a couple turnovers that hurt us again, and we put the defense in a bad position again. It's hard for our defense to make plays when we're, you know, playing against a team that is. I mean, they have a lead and they're just trying to burn some clock, and it's hard to create big plays when they're faced with burning clock and running the ball. We want to be in third down situations. We had some of that in one drive, and they just converted third and longs, and that's usually when we get sacks or get interceptions or create some kind of turnovers. And so nobody's perfect here. You know, defense has some things to work on, but once again, we fall into the trap of our inability to move and score points. It's caused our team some issues, and we need to score more points than 7. I mean, you can't win very many games scoring 7 points.
Offense had a couple of turnovers. Boise scored only 3 points off those turnovers, and whether it's a red zone defense or rush defense or scoring defense generally, the D has done relatively well considering they've been put in some rough spots relative to turnovers.
Yeah, we had some mistakes in coverage and guys trying to do too much again. I mean, we mentioned that last time, and it cost us. But you know, our defense's job isn't to score; it's to create disruption and get turnovers, get the ball back to our offense, and it just wasn't good enough. I mean, I've seen some good things from our defense, but we need to be better as a group, and a lot of the issues are because our offense wasn't able to do much. And I hate keep picking on them, but I don't know how else to be other than just honest and real with everybody, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And Coach Detmer knows that, and so the offensive players. So we have to fix it, and I feel good about I've been feeling great about our preparation, and so we need to transfer that over to the game nights and game days, and so we're looking forward to doing that on Saturday.
We asked you last week, and it was different then than it is now. We'll ask you again to maybe update to fans on your quarterback situation, the way it stands going into Mississippi State.
Well, Tanner's feeling better, so he's practicing, and you know, we have Joe in there. Bo's still limited, and so you know, we're looking at possibly using both Joe and Tanner, and if we need to go into Cody. And so that's kind of going into this game. That's our mindset.
So Bo Hodge is still probably needing some more time to get right, I guess.
Yeah, we were hoping that maybe he would be in a better position now, but unfortunately, it's on a Tuesday. It's looking bleak right now, but never know what could happen in the next few days. And just you know me, I'm just not going to risk it, even if it's close. It's just I'd rather be on the safe side than anything else. And
Coy Detmer's still just one of the guys in your mix right now.
Yeah, and Coy's got a lot of moxie, and he understands the game, but he just, you know, for us and what we're trying to do offensively, he's still available, but we've kind of shifted over to our guys that have been, that we feel that can give us the best chance to win right now.
What are you hanging your hat on right now as the head coach with this group? When you get with them in a team meeting and you leave, what do you feel best about with this group?
Well, the guys won't quit on each other, and they won't quit on the team, and the effort's there. You know, there's a lot of frustration, but I've been really proud of our young men and them showing up every morning that we go to work and they've been doing a great job at that part. And so, we just need to put it all together and find ways to score points and find ways to win as a team. And I think we'll feel better. It's just a sick feeling right now, with the 5 games losing skid. And so the only way to get past it is to work harder and keep going at it, and then maybe change a few things up because what we were doing before wasn't working. So you can't expect to do the same things over and over again and expect a different result. And so as a head coach, our guys are up for us changing things up and trying to find ways to put our team in a position to have success. And it's not crazy changes. It's just stuff that we feel like could be really helpful for us, whether it's personnel or a little bit of scheme or a little bit of technique.
Next chance for success is Saturday in Starkville. We're taking our first break, folks. As we do, we want you to know that you can enjoy a full hot breakfast buffet. Dinner Monday through Wednesday, a kitchen and large grassy backyard along the Provo River Trail, all at the Residence Inn Marriott in Provo. When we come back, a look at the week ahead and a trip to SEC country. This is BYU football with Kalani Sitake.
Anxiety, restlessness, insomnia, fatigue, depression, weight gain. The biggest thing that patients don't understand about low thyroid is that it's usually not a thyroid problem. It's actually an autoimmune disease that's attacking the thyroid called Hashimoto's disease. For us, it's really cool to see how much of an impact we can make at Red River for these patients' health and for their quality of life.
Red River Health and Wellness can help with a treatment plan remotely or at any one of our locations.
I would like to congratulate the men's basketball team on their big win this weekend. I know that one of them is here. I want you to stand up.
Hey, stand up.
It's not me. I'm not on the team.
Then how do you explain this?
I bought it?
He's on the team.
Come on, Jake. There's no need to be humble.
I'm not on the team.
No midterm if he makes this shot. If he misses extra homework.
Gear so legit, they'll think you're on the team. BYU Store.
Next time on the Story Trek, I randomly end up in what they call the first state. It's Delaware, and meet a war hero whose medals are left unopened.
You get a Bronze Star and you don't think nothing.
And she's told she'll never have kids. So how do you explain this gorgeous little girl? And he took years to build his dream business, why he's the victim of the technology he loves so much.
TV repairman is going to be like a dinosaur.
Hey, I thought we had movie night. Who are you?
Dad! You know what? That's okay. We'll go upstairs and watch it instead.
You guys, why don't you guys just have a seat?
Who's 38?
38? That's Push Poe.
End the screen wars. Watch live games streaming on BYUtv.org and the BYU TV app.
Woo!
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is presented by Ken Garff Honda of Orem, a proud supporter of BYU and the Cougar community. We hear Cougs.
Welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, especially in the tough times. We appreciate the Cougar fans who still bleed blue and join us every week here on the Sitake Show. A couple of extra special fans joining us in the audience tonight on this Kalani Sitake's birthday. Who do we have up there?
My mom and my dad right there. Pops, Lonnie and Tom.
On your birthday, they've decided to come and make sure you felt loved.
Yeah, made me feel important. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it, guys. Well, we hit the quarterback situation toward the end of last break, and you mentioned Joe, and we should maybe tell folks a little bit more about Joe Critchlow, who you probably hoped to redshirt this year, but circumstances being what they are, you put him into the mix, and he's someone that is out of Franklin, Tennessee, and is real happy to be playing for, I guess, his dream school, BYU, right now.
Yeah, and just, I mean, I think he was on his mission 3 months ago, so I don't think he anticipated being on the field this early, but, there's a necessity because of the injuries and things like that, and we have a lot of confidence in him and the progress he's made in the last couple months, and so, I thought he came in. I mean, it was in a spot where the game was pretty much out of reach, and we just wanted him to make the right reads, and he did that in the 4 plays that he was there, and obviously we didn't convert, but he made the right decisions, and he just couldn't connect on the last throw. But I like his poise and like the fact that he was out there and held his composure, and you know, he scrambled once, and his legs were tight because he was standing all night, and just love the opportunity. He just took it and ran with it and didn't question it and just wanted to play. He didn't care that there was only a few plays left in the game. He just wanted to get out there and help our team.
What do you like about his makeup?
Well, he's a big kid, and he's actually got a lot of the type of offense that we do with the RPOs and things like that. He has that in his background, and you know, he's a guy that he actually didn't get evaluated as much in recruiting because down south where he was at, they really don't work with the missionaries as well as they do out west. And so I think he had a lot of interest, but just didn't really go through the whole recruiting process like a normal person. And I think Ed Lamb evaluated him and liked what he saw and basically signed him. And when we got here, we knew that we needed some more depth here at quarterback, and you know, got him to join our group, and he fits our system. You just need to keep progressing it and try to get his missionary legs out of the way if you can. But he's growing up fast, and we'll see what happens. But he's from that area, and he's looking forward to going back home.
Right now, he's your #1 backup, but you're getting him ready to play this week, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's got to be ready. If you look at anybody on our team, I mean, things could happen quickly. Where you know, injury is part of football, but it's been a lot of guys that had different looks, and we've had had to shuffle some guys around a little bit more than normal than last year for sure. And so you never know. A guy's moment could come anytime soon, and we tell our guys to be anticipating it. Not that you're planning on someone getting hurt, but you have to have you know, when your time is up, you got to be ready to roll.
All right, on to Mississippi State. Second straight team you're going to play coming off a bye, as was Boise State. And the Bulldogs, team you saw last year, bring a lot of the same people back, especially the quarterback. Good offensive unit right now, stronger on the ground than they are through the air, and they can really run it with a bunch of guys, including the quarterback, Nick Fitzgerald.
Yeah, we saw him last year and had that, I think a double overtime win last year against them. And a lot of the guys are back, the quarterback's back, and Fitzgerald, he does a great job of running the ball, but he can throw it as well. And Dan Mullen's the head coach there, so we're familiar with it with the group, and because we've seen him last year. But you know, it's going to be, we're at their home, and they're going to have a lot of cowbells ringing, and so we're not ringing cowbells during practice because that just doesn't make any sense. But we know we're going to have to do some silent stuff. But the game's going to be early. You know, it's right up there in the morning at 11 there, which is 10 here. So our guys will be ready to roll and just really excited for another opportunity to play and against the SEC team.
And the fact that you played them and beat them last year with a lot of these same guys on the team has to, I think, be a bit of a positive for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're familiar with them a little bit, but I mean, that's...
Different groups, I know, but...
Yeah, but there's other guys that have played that didn't play against them, and I think the focus really this week is just to be really on ourselves. And the reason why we're not functioning well as a team is because we're not doing it on ourselves, regardless of who the opponent is. And so trying to focus on our guys being efficient and doing our jobs, whether it's on offense or defense or on special teams, and that's going to be the focus. And it just happens to be Mississippi State. Obviously, we're going to scout them and we're preparing for them, but I think the focus this week is really on what we can do as a group and focusing on what we can really develop as an identity for us on offense, which I think will reflect on the rest of the group.
What makes SEC football what it is?
Well, it's crazy down there. You know, they pack the house, and we're used to it because of BYU fans. We have fans everywhere, and we have a big stadium, and so we pack it here. And so that I think out here it's kind of unique with BYU, and we have a national brand, actually a worldwide brand, where we can go anywhere and you can recognize the logo, you know. But down there, it's a lot of the schools are from small towns, and it's a college town, so it's based around football, and you can notice the stadiums. And so we're going to another place where it's a smaller town, but it's all about football, and it's all about that college being based around football. And a lot of their weekends revolve around the game. And so it's going to be a cool, unique feeling. But our guys have been in similar spots before. We went to Michigan State, and you know, that's a traditional tough place to play, and we had some success there. And we're looking forward to doing that and to establishing a little physical presence and being able to run the ball, and then hopefully it transfers over to our passing game.
Okay, coming up in our next segment, we're visiting with Kian Norman. Now, you've only had him for the 2 years you'll have been here. Your second year, it's his second year, his last year. But 2 pretty good years from a guy that's been an anchor on your O-line.
Oh, yeah, and he's versatile. I mean, he can play center, he can play tackle, and he can play guard. And right now he's our starting left guard and for the second year in a row. And he was a graduate transfer from Southern Utah, so he graduated early. Most graduate transfers graduate with 1 year left of eligibility, and he had 2. And so it tells you what kind of student he is. And he's doing really well in school here. We're working on his master's, and you know, maybe one day we'll all be working for him sometime. But he's really smart and great football player, great teammate, and it's nice to have him and Ashley part of our program, his wife.
We'll talk about his scholastics and football coming up next. He is next, Kian Norman. As we head to break at Ken Garff Honda of Orem, we have a brand new dealership. Come see our new showroom floor located on University Parkway. Ken Garff Honda of Orem, we hear Cougs. After the break, the former Lone Peak Knight, Kian Norman, joining us here in Studio C as BYU football Kalani Sitake continues.
You're watching Super Tuesday on BYU TV, presented by Siegfried & Jensen.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been seriously injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies and protect your legal rights.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
What does your insurance actually do when it's not doing insurance? What if you could get help with more often? And you could also plan amazing trips. Save on event tickets or hotel rooms. Even get rescued roadside. You can when you're a member and your insurance is AAA. Insurance that's not just insurance.
For those not aware, yeah, the coach has pulled off a pretty good prank on us, so we're getting back at him now.
On the phone, Spencer, a rare treat. We have 2 coaches, Coach Judkins and Coach Detmer.
Yes, and let's throw out a generic question. What's the most important part of coaching your respective teams to victory?
Well, for me, it's having the players watch BYU Sports Nation before every game.
If you guys didn't do the show, we wouldn't win a single game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach Detmer. Because the talent has them and inspires us to be their best every day.
Hi, Johnny, let's be reasonable here. We're just joking.
So there's a balance and it's pretty tough, but I think the opportunities here, there's a lot.
The BYU TV Sports Countdown to Kickoff. BYU at Mississippi State, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain on BYU TV.
I'm Johnny Linehan. You're watching 4th and 9. You're watching BYU TV.
Welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, with your host, Greg Wrubell.
Welcome back inside Studio C here at BYU TV. You use the hashtag Sitake Show for a chance to see your question asked during our Q&A sessions coming up a little later on. Time for our weekly player interview now, presented by Bam Bam's Barbecue, authentic to the bone. This week, we're visiting with one of the anchors on the BYU offensive line, a player who's gone from high-profile baseball recruit to defensive lineman to offensive lineman, and from FCS to FBS during his college career. Please welcome into Studio C, starting left guard, Kian Norman.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
Thanks. Don't break this thing.
I know, it's been sturdy.
No, it's been load tested. Everyone who's, yeah,
That's true.
We had Kyrus Tonga in it last week.
Okay,
I think you're
if
good.
Kyrus made it, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so. So I mentioned baseball being a part of your background, and there was a time when I think most people thought about you as a baseball pitcher as opposed to an O-lineman. Take us back to Lone Peak and maybe the split between the two sports and where you maybe felt your heart or where you felt best at. What was that like?
So my grandpa actually played Major League Baseball.
And who was that?
Dane Orich.
We'll get to him in a second.
Okay. So he played at BYU, as I guess we'll get to.
Yeah.
And so at Lone Peak, I played football and baseball and loved them both, and had some good times, with my friends, and high school sports are a lot of fun. So I mean, I loved playing both. I thought about pursuing both in college, and thought about, when I was at SU, I thought about playing both. But while I was on my mission, SU actually cut their program when they got moved to the Big Sky in football. So kind of ended that. But
State champions in baseball, right?
Yep, won the state championship. So.
Who'd you guys beat in the finals?
We beat Cottonwood. And we had a good team, Jacob Hanneman, who's in the major leagues, and Dylan Robinson, who played at BYU. So had some good players.
So major league thoughts for you at that time?
I mean, every high school kid wants to play professional sports, right? So, I mean, I guess I had that dream, but kind of became realistic after, after the mission. You kind of figure things out a little bit more.
You mentioned the family ties.
Yeah.
As someone who played for BYU and then on to the major leagues, and that's Dane Orge. How much was that an influence in you growing up?
He was a big influence in my life. He supported me in all the sports I've played, and I don't know. I've got a good relationship with my grandpa. I see him all the time. Saw him Sunday. He watches all the games, comes to a lot of them. So.
2 World Series championships?
2 World Series. Yeah.
I've got a Dane Orge autographed bat in my home office, and I thought about it too late. I should have brought it as a prop. But yeah, a great baseball background and a family tie to the Norman family. Pretty cool. Now you went to SUU, and you went there as a D lineman to start, right?
Yeah.
Coach Lamb, who was down there, told me that there was a need depth-wise for you to switch over, and you made that decision. Was it something you felt was the right thing to do for you? Was it more of a team thing? How was the approach made, and how was it switching sides of the line?
In high school, I played both ways, and I didn't know what position I'd play. And then I went down there, and they said they needed me at D-line, and then I played. I didn't start, and then in that spring they needed me at center, so I made the switch. And I always thought I was better at offensive line, anyways, and so kind of made that switch.
Did you enjoy one side of the ball better than the other?
I've liked offense better. I feel like I'm better at it first off, and then I've enjoyed it better.
Kalani, you okay with the fact that he likes offense better than defense?
Yeah, I mean he could pitch too, so obviously he's got a strong arm, but no, his approach to the game is he's versatile. He can play in every position, and that's a huge compliment to what he does, his athleticism to even play D-line. So he's the guy that's willing to do what's best for the team, and we need him to play guard, but he also can snap the ball, and I'm sure he can play D-line if we really needed him to.
He was a team you were a team captain down at SU, weren't you as well?
I was a spring captain, and then I decided to transfer. So.
Okay, yeah, and the transfer decision, Coach Lamb was with you down there, and then he moved, and that had an influence on you, obviously.
Yeah. No, I just thought there would be a lot of great opportunities at BYU, academically, athletically, and the opportunity came about, and so I just went with it.
But, Coach, as you said, to get from Southern Utah to BYU, there was some work to do, and he did a lot of it in a pretty short span of time there to get eligible as a grad transfer, right?
Yeah, and but that wasn't even a question, because academically he's got it all, and he's really smart, and when you graduate, he graduated high honors, and so that wasn't a problem for him to get the classes done. And in order to get him to commit to come in here, Ed, we did the smart thing, and we taught his wife, which was the easiest thing. Once he got that done, then he was in for sure.
Your wife is Ashley, is that right?
Yep, Ashley.
Is she with us in the crowd?
She's up in the stands right there.
All right, good to see you. Good to be here. Is it okay to mention your GPA right now that you've got? I think you're at 3.91 if my records are correct. Okay, a 3.91 GPA.
Who gave him the A minuses? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Now, you graduated from Southern Utah, so you're in the master's program. Is it MPA right now?
MPA, Master's of Public Administration, yeah.
Okay, and you won't be done. Have you been accepted to law school here?
I've been accepted to BYU.
Okay.
I've been accepted to a couple schools, trying to decide what's the best route for me. So.
Okay, so there's more schooling to come after
More schooling, it never ends, I guess.
Now, as part of what Kian does as both a player and a student, he's a nominee for what's called the William V. Campbell Award. It's presented by the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. Taysom Hill was a finalist for the award last year, and Kian is one of the semifinalists nationally this year for the William V. Campbell Award. And I think that deserves a round of applause. It acknowledges scholastics and athletic achievement. And so, congratulations to you on that honor.
Thank you.
Hope you go far with that and make it into the finals. All right, to some football now. Mississippi State, SEC country in Starkville and all that. How pumped are you to get on the road and take on the Bulldogs?
I'm excited. I mean, Coach Empey, he actually coached BYU. He was on the coaching staff when they beat Mississippi State, so he's told us about the environment. I mean, I served my mission in Florida, so I kind of understand the the love of football and
the rabid nature.
Exactly.
Down there,
so it's going to be a fun experience. I'm excited to hear the cowbells and to see all the fans. So it'll be a good experience.
How close do you think the offense, the BYU offense, is to turning a corner of sorts and putting together a consistent 60 and getting a good result?
Yeah. I mean, we're right there. I mean, this whole season, it's been obvious that we've been shooting ourselves in the foot with turnovers and costly penalties. I mean, we have the talent. We've had some great moments. We just got to put it all together.
Kalani, one of the areas of consistency from your group has been the fact you've had 5 linemen starting together in all 6 games so far this year.
Yeah, and Kean's been a big part of that, you know, and has been one of the big leaders for us on this team. And I'm pretty sure these guys want the, you know, basically the load to be put on their shoulders, and I think they want to carry them through it. So you watch the way these guys run block and the way they pass pro. I mean, they've done a good job with our offense. We just made way too many mistakes, but you can't capitalize on it. So if we can limit the mistakes and take advantage of a physical line that's got tons of game experience behind them, I mean, I think that's going to be the path that we have to take.
Kean, you've been here a relatively short time. How close are you with your boys on the O-line here in the 2 years you've been here?
I'm really close to him. Austin Hoyt, and he's one of my good buddies. We grew him on the road. And I'm friends with all of them. I love those guys. Tijon, Tooney, Shove, they're a bunch of good guys. And you've been, again, together. You've all been starting together all season here so far. It's been a pretty tight group that way, too. Yeah, definitely has. All right, more with Kean Norman's coming up after the break, folks. When we come back, we'll go to our live audience as Cougar fans go one-on-one with Kean. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
I went to BYU with the intention of finishing my degree. Along the way, things got a little bit busy. I always had that idea that I was going to go back, but as a non-traditional student, I just felt that that opportunity was not going to happen until I explored what BGS really offered. The BGS program gave me more flexibility and gave me the education that I wanted. As I was walking to the podium, it was almost surreal. I don't regret getting my degree through BGS.
You have everything you need?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you forgot this.
Thanks.
Hey, you can do this.
Thanks, Dad.
Let's go, Joe! We're gonna be late for the
Right, well,
game!
heard mother. Gotta go. Thank you for watching Cosmo for us this weekend. Now remember, you only like sparkling water, room temperature.
On,
make sure he wears his sweater. Gotta go.
Go, Cougs!
Go, Cougs! Now we are going to go see a game.
Where are we?
This is Earth, long after human extinction. We will help you restore the human race.
Why would they bring us back?
We are an endangered species. This is the key to changing that.
Everyone makes mistakes, Ezra. But not everyone gets a chance to put them right.
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is brought to you in part by Bam Bam's Barbecue, authentic to the bone.
Every week we talk about our Cougars in the pros, like Kyle Van Noy with the Patriots, 7-tackle game for him on the weekend. Daniel Sorensen, a really nice game for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are still undefeated. Daniel Sorensen, by the way, will be on my radio show tomorrow night. Listen for that on BYU Radio. Ziggy Ansah with the Lions, a couple of tackles on the weekend. And Jamal Williams got in for a carry and a yard, but Aaron Jones had a really nice day for the Packers in their win in Dallas this past weekend. All right, welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. Greg Wrubell here with Coach of the Cougars and Kean Norman, BYU offensive lineman. So you talked about pro aspirations from a baseball side of things. So what about football and next level? Is that an interest for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely look at my options in the offseason. I've been talking to Jason Ayu, who handles all the NFL scouts and stuff, and so I'll see what my opportunities are and then go from there.
Of course, you're scholastically preparing for other long-term goals. You're in the MPA right now, and law school is possibly in your future too. What do you see yourself doing in life long-term?
I mean, I don't know. I'm getting all this education. I probably should figure out what I want to do, right? But we'll see. I mean, I want to do something in business. I want to do, I'm interested in corporate law. So we'll see where that takes me.
Kalani, clearly Keon's got a good head on his shoulders, as everything we've talked about demonstrates. What makes him a good leader and a good guy at his position on the O-line, which is a pretty cerebral position to play?
Well, he's willing to do whatever it takes, and I mean, I think when they asked him initially as D lineman to gain weight, and that's not the easiest thing for other people to hear, other than myself, you know. But
yeah, it's like the club.
I think Keon cared more about the team and you know, gain the weight, and he's been able to keep it on and get stronger. And once he's done with football, and it's whenever he decides he'll be done with it, and once he's done with football, he'll slim up and be really thin and go back to XL shirts. And but I've just been really impressed with his willing to just do whatever it takes. And you know, a lot of times when you're an O-lineman, it's a thankless job, and so nobody notices when Ula runs in for a touchdown, the great block that Keon and the other O-lineman made, and he's okay with that, and then his humility has been something that's a great example for our young guys to see, and just willingness to buy in and do whatever we ask him to. So that's taken him a long way in academics. It's going to take him a long way in the future as a husband and as a father, and you know, in corporate law or whatever he decides to do.
So from life goals to season goals, how much is bowl eligibility still something we can think about and talk about as something that's a realistic thing to shoot for here by the end of the year?
I mean, it's, as a senior, you want to make a bowl your senior year. So, I mean, it's definitely on all of our minds. It's still a goal in mind. It's still attainable. So we'll definitely keep working towards that.
How's it been working with different quarterbacks this season as circumstances have necessitated different guys behind you?
I mean, it doesn't change a whole lot for the O-line. We still have the same offense, same packages, but it's been kind of fun to see the different quarterbacks and see their strengths and see what they do. You know, Bo, we were running more option, and seeing him run, and then Tanner, you know, he's back there passing. So it's been cool.
Now, one of the GAs on the team is Dallas Reynolds, right?
Yep.
And there are some who say that you bear a passing resemblance to all the Reynolds brothers, that you're like the long-lost Reynolds.
I've heard that a lot since I've been here.
So they've all been, and I don't know, this could be Houston. It could be, I think it's Houston. So there's, I don't know, is there something there?
I guess so. I mean, hopefully I'm better looking than Dallas. I'm just joking. But, no, there's definitely a resemblance there.
Yeah, we had enough of them play for us, and I guess you get that from some people, right? I think you're a Reynolds.
Gotten a lot, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's time for Cougar Nation to converse with Keon a bit. We're going to start here in our live studio audience. Russell Alley is first up with Keon. Hey, Russell.
Hey, Greg. Thanks. Hey, Keon. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good. So besides football and of course maybe baseball, if you weren't doing that right now currently, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
I probably have already started law school, and then probably be in law school, so not that exciting.
Twitter question from @EDCuz says, with all the disappointing outcomes this year, how's the energy of the team during practices, and what are you doing to maintain morale?
So I feel like today we had one of our better practices, especially as an offense. I mean losing's not fun. I mean, it definitely takes a toll, but Coach Sitake does a good job of keeping us, you know, positive and gaining perspective. And I mean, you learn from everything. You learn from losses, and so.
When Kalani talks about honest discussions with the team, what do you want to hear from your head coach, good times and bad?
I mean, you just kind of want to stay in the middle. You know, you don't want to get too high with the wins and too low with the losses. And I mean, hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully the middle elevates to a a few more wins here as you get to the latter part of the season, so you can feel a little more positive. Brenton Farrell is next up with Keon. Hey, Brenton.
Hey. First of all, go Knights, world class for life.
There you go.
And second of all, as the offensive line and the defensive line probably are the only positions in football where you know you're going to hit someone really hard every single play, right?
Yeah.
So do you ever engage in any smack talk with the defensive line across?
I mean, honestly, this season I've been surprised at how friendly the other defensive lines have been. I don't think one player has said anything to me. I mean, Tijon tries to mix it up with some teams, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I talk way more to our own defensive line in practice than I do to the other teams. You're almost too tired to talk in the games.
You're exerting yourself a little bit. Who's a good guy to engage on our D line?
Kyrus, that guy is incredible. As a true freshman, I can't believe how good that guy is.
He's going to be good. He's going to be something else, isn't he?
Yeah, and then Kesney Hansen, both seniors, good players, and so. But Kyrus, that guy, he's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for the question, Brenton and fans, and thank you for coming in. Stick where you are, but appreciate you coming in tonight.
Thanks.
All right, that's Kian Norman. All right, coming up, we'll have more with the coach. Q&A for Kalani is straight ahead. Here at Ken Garff Volkswagen of Orem, we're excited to announce our new dealership opening its doors in November. Visit our new showroom floor on University Parkway. Ken Garff, we hear Cougs. After the break, your question for Kalani. Back in the middle of the BYU football with Kalani Sitake.
BYU Food to Go's convenient location at 2191 North Canyon Road in Provo makes bringing popular BYU foods to your next event easy. Everything's ready when you need it at the drive and load pickup. You drive in and they load no matter the weather. And stop in the on-site creamery for great BYU chocolate milk and ice cream. BYU Food to Go, bringing campus to your table. Call for details, 801-422-5001.
Moving your family doesn't have to be stressful, not when you use Bailey's Moving and Storage. For 65 years, we've moved families, companies, and busy individuals like you across town and across the country. From planning to unpacking, families have trusted Bailey's for many years to be their partner every step of the way. Whether it's local, long distance, international, an office move, or more, be sure to begin with Bailey's. The official mover of BYU Athletics, Bailey's Moving and Storage. More than just a move.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while, say hooray all day because the sun's gonna shine on me, sun's gonna shine on me, sun's gonna shine on me.
You're watching Super Tuesday on BYU TV, presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
Rugby opened up the pathway for me to play football, and now I fell in love with football.
Stick to the path or die.
I just love BYU so much. I left my family behind in New Zealand, and I told them this is going to be worth it for us and for our family.
I'm Cezanne Chroma, and you're watching BYU TV.
Rippon takes a low snap, a play fake, guns it, picked off Grant Jones, right across the middle. Jones, 45-50 into Boise State territory, and there it is. BYU's 5th takeaway of the season. That is the exciting play of the game, presented by Nissan, a proud partner of the BYU Cougars. Nissan, innovation that excites. We are back on BYU football with Kalani Sitake here in Studio C. Good to have you back with us. So we see there Grant Jones, now a linebacker, making a big play for you to give you a good short field that led to your first touchdown against Boise State.
Yeah, originally he was a linebacker and then moved to receiver. And well, obviously we had some issues with some of our linebacker depth and health. And so we thought that it'd be good to move him back into something that he kind of knows. And we felt like he was giving us some depth to begin with. So he was able to play. And he played a lot in the Utah State game too. And he's
some plays there too?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, it's not obviously your first choice when you have guys compete for starting spots, but it's nice to have guys that are willing to move positions and willing to do it even mid-season to help you.
Now we saw, speaking of linebackers, we saw Butch come out for the coin toss as a captain, but then didn't play in the game, I don't think. Is he maybe ready to go in Starkville?
Yeah, he's closer and he's practicing now. So I don't like playing players unless they've practiced all during the week, and so now he's involved in practice and it's still day to day. We'll see how it goes. I mean it's obvious injury. He's had that big club on, and so. Yeah. I don't know if he can pick his nose with the left hand instead of the right, but that's probably his only issue that he has right now.
All right, I've asked maybe Kalani enough questions for the night. Let's turn it over to our BYU football fans to take over. In our weekly Q&A with the coach, we've got live audience and Twitter questions ready to roll. We're going to start right here in our studio with Selena Farrell. Hello, Selena.
Hello. How you doing, Coach?
Good.
So you talked a little bit earlier about how you decided to play Joe Critchlow and end his redshirt year and put him in the mix. What is it exactly about Joe that you think that he's going to offer your team that you haven't had from the other players you put in?
Well, we kind of knew going into the season that he was capable as a thrower, as a quarterback. Just during the time that we had him, I mean, keep in mind he was serving a mission 3 months ago, so we thought that it'd be better just to progress him and bring him along. And obviously with the injuries and some of the issues that we've had at quarterback, it kind of threw him in the mix because we've seen some progress done. I don't think he's 100% back from his mission yet, but his arm is much stronger and his reads, and he's sharp, and those guys that still have returned missionary legs. They're kind of getting in the flow of things. He and Cody Wilstead are kind of getting in it, and he's just kind of been thrown into it early because of the situation we have with health at the QB position. But he's capable, and I was just really impressed with his demeanor and then his poise. And so, it's a long season, and we have a lot of games left, and there's a good chance that you might see him again.
Selena, thank you for the question. A Twitter question, #Sitake Show from @BigUnclePooh. What improvements can we expect to see on the offensive side of the ball this week?
I just like to see consistency and a lot what we did in the first quarter and try to hang on to that and just stuff that we're good at, make people stop us. And if we can do that, I think we can be able to make adjustments as we go along. But possess the ball and get points on the board, that's all that matters, and that's the bottom line for our offense.
All right, more Q&A with the coach next. Looking for an even more convenient way to shop at Smith's? Try Smith's Click List. Order online, pick up curbside at the store. Visit smithsfoodanddrug.com/clicklist for details. Q&A with Kalani continues after this break. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. We're back after this.
No matter what stage you're at in life, you're always looking to take the next step forward. At Deseret First Credit Union, we want to take each and every next step with you. With low auto loan rates, you can be ready to see what's around every new corner, and amazing rates on home mortgages, so you can move up to something you've always dreamed of. Deseret First Credit Union, with you every financial step of the way. Membership and eligibility required. Equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Dave McCann with BYU TV Sports. Each season, we invite companies like yours to be a part of the BYU brand, aligning your business with respected academics and athletics. Becoming a corporate partner means you'll benefit from showcasing your products and services with game day signage, social media, radio, and TV campaigns. Whether on the field, in the stands, or on the air, BYU's here to help your brand grow. Email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
Ever since the accident, I don't remember anything. And it breaks my heart, seeing you love me and not knowing if I love you. Goodbye, Vaughn.
13 comedians. You don't work at all, and you don't deserve this. You have a serious Netflix addiction.
With an attempt at drama.
Yours is a love beyond compare. This cannot be.
And stumbling at every step.
Hey, Johnson family, I got a package from your grandma.
Can't you see we're busy? Get out of here!
This fall, look for their return to sketch comedy. Studio C, Season 8. Mondays at 7 on BYU TV. BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is presented by Ken Garff Nissan of Orem, a proud supporter of BYU and the Cougar community. We hear Cougs.
Did you know Kalani Sitake has his own burger at the Wall, the restaurant there at the Wall on campus in the Wilkinson Center? It's called the Kalani on Fire Burger, featuring 2 beef patties, pepper jack cheese, crispy jalapenos, chipotle mayo, lettuce, tomato, onion, on a toasted bun served with fries. Look at that. He loves his burger. Yeah. But you can only get this. Look at him. He's loving it. You can only get this through Saturday. Only through Saturday. You know what?
I want one of those. Yeah.
I have here a 15% off coupon for the Kalani on Fire burger.
I thought I got unlimited supply.
I think you're good.
Okay.
We got to give this to somebody else. So who's gonna take my? You're right here. No, here we go. Right here. Come on up. Here you go. 15% off.
Thank you. Enjoy. It would be way better if they threw a fried egg on top of it too.
It's all it's missing, right?
Over easy, yeah, egg. I guess I couldn't get that to go on it.
All right, Kalani on Fire, but only till Saturday. The burger is, unless it's backed by popular demand, and it could just be that
I
way.
doubt it. It's a heartburn waiting to happen. I have an iron stomach. I can handle that stuff.
Let's get back to some Q&A from social media for Coach Sitake. Hashtag Sitake Show for the questions. At Bobo Sarah, _Sarah. Happy birthday, Coach, first of all, she says. It's easy to dwell on the negatives right now. What's the biggest positive you see this season?
Oh, the fact that we can get it turned around. I mean, I would be really, our biggest frustration is that we know we're better than this, and that's my responsibility as a coach, is to make sure that we're playing better, you know. So I know we can perform better, and just looking forward to that moment. And I'm hoping that it's this Saturday, and I know our players are anxious for it, and our fans are definitely waiting for it. So that's the biggest positive. I know that we can play better, and I'm looking forward to have that happen soon.
Hashtag Sitake Show on Twitter. This one from at Tmort5. What words do you have for Gary Anderson, given the recent news of him leaving Oregon State? And you coached with Gary before. And a mentor of mine. And I mean, I've been close with him since we were at Southern Utah together, and you know, with Kyle Whittingham when we were at Utah, and he was a coordinator. And so I haven't spoken to him since. I mean, I obviously have other things to worry about right now and currently on this team, and so I haven't really reached out to him other than send him a text, and so we'll talk again sometime soon. But he definitely loves his players, and he loves his coaches. And I've been part of his coaching staff and been around him quite a bit, and to know that he's a genuine person, and you know, money's not an object and not the issue for him, and that's why he left so much of it, so that the program can thrive even when he's gone. And that's a huge unselfish act for him to do. And but he's always going to be a guy that I can lean on and talk to, and a great friend. I love him. So you know, we'll see what happens with him in the future with what he does in coaching. I just think that college football is much better when he's involved with young men's lives. Okay, one more social media question from Twitter. This from at Jake Pickett 23. What do you want for your birthday?
The obvious, and I don't want to say it because it will jinx it. So
we all know what he wants. It's what we all want. Are you right? Yeah. Another Twitter question from at Bravos11. Has there been any discussion about Ty trying the booth for a game? He coordinates from the field for you, right? Any thoughts about that? And how do you like to divide the responsibilities from booth to field? Well,
I mean, I think you have to have some representation up in the booth, and a lot of it, and our mindset is that most of the coaching is done during for us Monday through Friday, and it's a lot of the instructions given from their assistant coaches, and so. As a safeties coach, if Ed Lamb's yelling at the safety, even in a crowded stadium, the safety recognizes his voice because he's heard it the entire time, whether it's spring ball, fall camp, Monday through Friday in practice. And so he can actually recognize that voice as Ed's voice, or Coach Lamb, any of the other coaches, running backs with Reno and all of them. So a lot of what we try to do is communicate, even especially defense on the field. And I like guys being able to make adjustments on the field. Most of our graduate assistants and our admin assistants, they study film and they know the tendencies and they know the film. I mean, they've studied it more and broken it down. And the strength that they have is being up in the booth and seeing everything because they've watched so much film of it. I mean, most of our coaches have too, but it's the communication is what we're trying to get accomplished. And I think Ty, being able with new quarterbacks and being in the mix, and even guys that are dealing with injuries, I think it was important for him to feel like he needs to be on the field, look him in the eyes and talking to him. And it's hard to get guys on the phone and trying to make adjustments. Sometimes it's easier to look people in the eyes. And we live in a time where no one really has eye-to-eye contact anymore, and we're trying to bring that back in football. And I think that a lot of teaching and learning happens when you see people eye-to-eye. And otherwise, we would just text each other the plays and the corrections. And that doesn't work in football.
All right, Cougar Nation, thanks for the questions, both in studio and on the social media. Back with closing comments from the coach after this. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
You're watching Super Tuesday on BYU TV, presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
All the great things in life happen around great food. It's not just nourishing to your body, it's nourishing to your soul. Come into downtown Provo, see the amazing things that there are here, and you'll come again and again and again.
Provo is so beautiful. I think that you'll find that when you come to Provo, there is something for everybody now.
We've got a perfect recipe for success here. We've got good food, music, a good art, and we've got a lot of great culture here. So come and have some fun in Provo.
There's not so much a BYU Sports Nation dance, per se, but Jerem can't stand it when it's really quiet, so he'll turn on some music, and then it's just like, just move the shoulders a little bit.
He gave you a dance move? What in the world are you talking about?
And I'm looking so just not cool right now.
He did that for the cameras. That does not happen. This would be Spencer's. It'd be the stanky leg. Okay. Not mine, Spencer's.
That's what we do. We just want to relax.
The humans call our companions parasites because they believe that controls us.
Doesn't it? You didn't say anything about killing skin riders. And if Silas dies, can you and the Sparks remake him?
Why did the settlers seal it up?
You should open it and find out.
Watch Extinct on BYU TV.
You're watching BYU TV. See the good in the world.
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is presented by Ken Garff Volkswagen of Orem, a proud supporter of BYU and the Cougar community. We hear Cougs.
BYU at Mississippi State Saturday on the radio. Cougar Countdown show begins at 10 o'clock Eastern. C2K Countdown to Kickoff on BYU TV at 11 a.m. Eastern. The game itself on the SEC Network and can be heard on BYU Radio and the BYU Sports Network. And then post-game coverage, TV and radio, we have you covered from Starkville. Today is Kalani Sitake's 42nd birthday. We already know what he wants. Oh, look at that. That Cougar's not live, by the way. Just everyone relax. But, oh, look at that. We've got a couple of cakes for people to enjoy here after the show. And looking forward to getting into those here in a few minutes. That's out in our lobby here at BYU. Oh look! It's Handsome Tanielu and Molangi. They're here to celebrate with us. And what is going on? Oh no, that is. Oh man. Oh.
They'll pay for this.
Look at that. At least it left your face alone on that one, I think.
Yeah, probably the worst tasting part of the cake anyway, so. I love those guys. They can have it. They can have the cake. They just got to save some for the audience.
Just leave a few. Yeah, leave a few slices for the audience, please.
Big Mo, I bet you the cake's gone right now.
You get a live shot of the cake right now.
I'm surprised he walked away from it. So
he may have come back after the camera went away. We're off to SEC country, Starkville. I was last there 16 years ago, I guess it was 2001. You talked about how football kind of dominates down there. There's a special vibe in SEC towns on game day, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's a special moment. I mean, our guys, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a learning experience for them being down there in that area. But I'm pretty sure we'll have our fans down there as well. Everywhere we go, there's a good group of our followers and our fans that show up, and it makes us feel really comfortable, even in a place like Starkville. So our guys, our people will be there. We're looking forward to it.
And yes, it's a good Mississippi State team. They're 3-2. They played a lot of ranked teams. They beat a team that got after you pretty good. But again, you have a victory over them to look back on, and you just hope that the best effort that you've been expecting to comes finally.
Yeah, and the game of football is all about matchups, and it's about our guys. I mean, no one's seen our best yet, and this is a great opportunity for it to show, and against a great opponent that we respect, and looking forward to being in Mississippi and sharing the field with them.
Hope that big result comes this Saturday and we get that to win after a few weeks without one. We'd love to see you folks in the crowd here next week in Studio C. To request your seats, go to BYUCougars.com/Sitake Show. On the day before or the day of the show to reserve your spot in the audience. Our audience is going to have some cake right now. We'll see you next week, Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. For Keon and the coach, I'm Greg Wrubell. This is the BYU football Kalani Sitake in Studio C. Good night.
It's Fairyland's famously untold tale, Shrek the Musical, at Tuacahn Amphitheater. Based on the beloved movie, this rollicking musical takes you on an adventure with a hilarious donkey, a beautiful princess, and everyone's favorite ogre. This clever take on classic fairy tales is irresistible and proves that happy endings come in every shape and size. Also playing at Tuacahn this summer, Mamma Mia and Disney's Newsies. For tickets, visit tuacahn.org.
Are you preparing because of natural disasters?